left hip, turn level left, and get onto our power plane, the right elbow drops down, getting to its maximum load. Then the right arm fires with the palm at the ground. On the conclusion of the target turn, the left arm folds. Let's look at this once again. Back turn, right arm folds, elbow drops down in front of the right hip, fires with the palm at the ground, and on the finish of the swing, the left arm folds. Now, how do the arms work as a unit doing this? The arms are always located in front of the chest. At address, the arms are in front of the chest. As we take our back turn, the arms are also in front of the chest, and the right arm folds. Back at impact, the arms are back in front of the chest. On the finish of the swing, the arms are still in front of the chest, but the left arm folds here. The reason we can keep the arms in front of the chest all the time is because the shoulders are continuously turning throughout the whole swing. Remember, the swing forms a big circle, and you're the power source in that circle, and your ability to turn, and only your ability to turn, is what makes a club head go. Let's take a look at the wrists and hands. As we set up in Fundamental 4, we hung our arms down. This pre-cocked our wrists somewhat. Should your hands be up in this position, to get your wrist cocked, you would have to move the club approximately 4 feet. With your arms hanging down and your hands low, you only have to move it about 1.5 feet. The hands have 2 roles. They grip the club and they cock the wrist. Cocking the wrist is the left pinky going down and the 2 middle fingers of the right hand coming up. As we start the back turn, the hands and wrists start by cocking the wrists. As we turn onto our back turn, the folding right elbow assists in cocking the wrists to their maximum. On the back turn, the pinky of the left hand is working out and the right hand is working in, getting the wrist cocked to the top of the back turn. As we make our initial move with the left knee and left hip from the top of the back turn, the wrist even cocked farther, getting the right elbow in front of the right hip. Notice that the left arm and the club is more than 90 degrees at this point. As we went into the hitting area, the centrifugal force pulls the club down and the hands up. Though during my swing, I still feel I'm in this position at impact. The tremendous centrifugal force pulls the club head down. There's still a cup in the back of the right wrist through the hitting area into the finish. Then on the finish of the swing, as I continue around, the wrists end up cocked again on the finish of the swing. The finish of the swing and the way the wrists are cocked should be a mirror of the position I was in at the top of my back turn. As we set up and as we take our swing, the palms always face each other. Now let's take a look at the tendencies for the individual team members during the average swing. Most people set up with the weight evenly distributed between both feet, usually with the toes pointed out 90 degrees from the target line. On the back turn, most people tend to move their weight onto the right side. This is a static weight shift onto the right side. What's wrong with that is that the base of the spine starts moving back, and of course the spine is what we're turning around and with during the swing, and you'll have to run it down to turn around it. So with the feet, keep the weight on the inside ball of the right foot. With the knees, usually they're straight like this, and on the back swing, the right knee instantly goes out, which invites the whole body to move to the right. Again, a static weight shift. So with the ball of the right foot and the right knee loaded and held inward, this will stabilize the base of the spine and allow you to turn around it. Also, with that same tendency, the hip will slide to the right, destroying the circle of the swing. Again, the foot, knee, and hip are stabilized, which allow the shoulders to turn around and with the backbone. Another big tendency is to have the back curved. The energy from the lower body has to have activated muscles in the lower back to make the trip to the shoulders, through the arms, through the hands, to the club head, and then to the ball. Make sure you have a straight back so that energy can go through the activated back muscles and the assistance of the stomach muscles during the swing. Now with the shoulders, we're all taught the straight left arm. Most people pull their left shoulder far too high. In Fundamental 4, as we squatted and bent from the hips and the butt of the club hit just above the left knee, this brought our left shoulder down. This frees our shoulders up, keeping them relaxed so they can turn around and with the backbone. With the arms and hands, most people start out with the hands high. As I covered earlier, this causes you to have to move the club head 4 feet to get your wrist cocked. Dropping the hands down, then you only have to move the club head 1.5 feet in this direction to get the wrist cocked. Also, most people address the ball with the club pointing right at their belly button. What this causes you to do is to have to move the club an additional 2 feet to get your left arm and the club in a straight line. With the setup we have suggested here, we have eliminated 4 feet of club head movement. With the hands, most people put them on with the palms facing each other, but the right palm is at the sky and the left palm is at the ground. This is the don't hit it right grip. However, what this promotes is the left elbow out and the left shoulder up in the air, and still the ball goes to the right. Put your hands on with the palms facing each other, the V's formed by the thumb and index fingers of each hand pointing at your left shoulder. This will help you square the face with the right palm down and the left elbow at the left hip. Notice my shoulders are very level. Another tendency is the golfer that is taught to keep his head down. When you look at him from the back, you don't see any head. Remember that the neck is an extension of the backbone. Keeping the head down is a job of the legs. Those are some of the tendencies that this system in maximum golf helps you eliminate and produces the consistent repeating golf swing you want, which will give you the consistency and enjoyment that you're looking for. Let's take a look at some specific aids designed to help you feel your swing. To emphasize the feeling of the strength in the legs, we do the following. Bruce, take it up the top of your back turn. Now, let your knees start to swing, just slightly. Feel the knees turn the swing. Okay, take it up there and hold it. Now, turn against my hands as much as you can. Okay, there's a lot of torque down there. Okay, let's take it up there again. Now, squat too much and get down too low. Now, turn against my hands. You notice there's a tremendous power in the lower body once we flex our legs. Without the legs flexed, you're an upper body swinger. From the top of the back turn, once we make a move onto the power plane, let me demonstrate something that will help you understand releasing the club to the target. I'm going to take this club and throw it just to the right of you. Okay, here we go. The back turn onto the power plane, onto the power plane. I'm not suggesting you go out and throw clubs. What I'm suggesting you do is get on the practice tee and take balls and practice throwing. Notice the right elbow leads this throw. Let's cover the #1 mental rule and the #1 physical rule. The #1 mental rule is to always have a target. The #1 physical rule is that the hands always lead a trailing club head. As we set up with the ball and with the club to the target, we are looking at our target. We have the preview, the turning press, and the swing. The #1 physical rule is that the hands always lead a trailing club head. Let's watch that during a swing. Always have a target and always let your hands lead a trailing club head. At your club, get a friend to help you demonstrate what we're going to do here. This is Tom, one of my assistants in the school, and we're going to show you the importance of the cup in the back of the right wrist and the leverage in the elbow. Tom, can you get in a position there? Okay, with a strong grip, with the V formed by the thumb and index finger of our right hand pointing at our right shoulder, as we're going to do, you will see we have no power at all. We end up pushing with the right elbow. We just have no power at all. Now, getting a cup in the back of both of our right wrists, getting our right elbow in front of our right hip, flexing our legs and turning, we can put a great deal of pressure on each other's hand. Here we go. Notice the more pressure we put, the lower we flex. How many O's in your smooth? Each individual has their own tempo. Smooth is a state of mind. A smooth physical process comes from a smooth mental process. Behind the ball here, I take a smooth physical motion. It isn't a practice swing, it's just a slow motion review of what I'm going to do. Now I take a smooth walk to the ball, keeping my mind lined up. Squat, bend from the hips, smoothly. A smooth step with the left, a smooth step with the right. Turn my left foot open smoothly, turn my weight back on the left. Now I do a smooth preview. Do a smooth turning press. Take a smooth back turn and hit a smooth shot. If you have any thought in your mind at this moment before the club goes back, it should be smooth to your target. Let's take a look at the release. When the term release is used, what is it we're releasing? The setup, the back turn, the move onto the power plane, the tighter arc with the right elbow in front of the right hip has activated a tremendous amount of energy. This energy is what we release. Most players address the ball in about this manner take the club back, cock their wrist, and then release the club at the ball. That is not a release. Let's take a close look at the elements of a good solid release. Watching golf tournaments on the PGA Tour, you might notice Mark O'Meara and other players taking a practice motion before they hit their shot, similar to this. Tom, can you come out here again and we'll demonstrate this? What Mark O'Meara and other players that take a practice motion in this way are doing is rehearsing the feel of the swing before they do it. He's rehearsing releasing the power through the turn without releasing the club at the ball. Now during my swing with this 3-wood, as I cock my wrists, as I turn my shoulders, coming down into the hitting area, after I've gotten onto the power plane, I feel my left pinky working down and my thumb and index finger working up. This is controlled leverage through the hitting area. I feel that the club is in this attitude. Let's watch this during a swing. I feel I'm in this attitude. This club head weighs 7.5 ounces. Put that 7.5 ounces on a 43-inch shaft. Consider my 35-inch arm length forming the radius of a circle. Consider the club head traveling 100 miles an hour, which it does. At impact, that club head weighs in excess of 30 pounds. The feeling I have from holding the club here is the centripetal force. The weight of the club pulled down is caused by the centrifugal force. That's why I feel I'm in this attitude through the ball. Centrifugal force pulls the club head down. In my school, my students have labeled the backswing as the back turn. The only thing that all good players have in common is that they get a good turn on their backswing or the back turn and a good continuous turn through the ball to their finish, the conclusion of the target turn. The elements of a good back turn are: the back is facing the hole, the left shoulder is under the chin, and the right shoulder is behind the head. The good elements of a good finish of a target turn: the left knee is flexed and the right shoulder is over the left toe. 99% of my weight is on my left foot on the finish. Now, as we reach the top of our back turn, we're loading up. As we start the left knee turning level left, I want to show you how strong the right knee is. Bruce, can you come and help me? Okay, at address, Bruce can straighten out his legs pretty much and pull the knee out. However, on the back turn, lighten up a little bit there. As I turn back here and load up, he can pull, and that is levered. This is the dynamic weight shift. All of my weight is loaded against the inside of the right knee. I'm coiling up on that right knee and right hip. Maybe sometime watching a tournament, you have noticed Raymond Floyd making a clockwise motion. As I look down, I see a clockwise motion. In this position, with my wrist cocked, this is 12 o'clock, the position I'm in at the top of my back turn. Then I move the club head, cocking the wrist with the right arm folding, to 3. This is my move, my world-class move, onto the power plane. As I come down, the club head goes down, which is 6 o'clock. Then, as the ball takes off, here is 9 o'clock. Then, during the conclusion of the target turn and the finish, my hands and wrists go back to 12. Let's review that for clarity. 12 o'clock is the top of the back turn. 3 o'clock is the move onto the power plane. 6 o'clock is impact. 9 o'clock is after the ball has left the club face. And back to 12 o'clock, which is the finish of the swing. This circular motion in a preview will help you feel these 4 positions. Now, in curving shots, it's important to remember that maximum golf produces one swing. We use the same swing whether we're hitting a shot left to right, straight, or right to left. Hitting a shot right to left, we take that same swing and point it to the right of the hole, and we toe the face in. When we hit a straight shot, we use our standard setup with the face square to the line we're going to hit the shot down. When we're hitting it left to right, we set up with the same ball position, same grip, but open the face so the face is pointing at the target. Let's watch this as we hit a straight shot. Squat, bend from the hips till the butt of the club hits just above the left knee. Small step, big step. Turn the weight back on the left. There's the preview. Now, 2 things are constant in curving the shots with the setup. With the straight shot, I set up small step, big step, turn the weight back on the left. As you can see, being at a 90-degree angle to the line I'm going to hit the shot on, the ball's on the left ear, base of the spine, and just inside the left heel. Let's watch the left to right shot during a swing. I set up my body and my plane left of the target. The face of the club is at the target. Now, in hitting the shot left to right, we set up in the same way, pointing our body and our plane left of the target, but the face of the club is pointed down a line to the target. Notice the V's formed by the thumb and index finger of both hands is pointing at the left shoulder. Notice the ball is located on the left ear, base of the spine, and just inside the left heel with the face at the target. Let's take a look at the right to left shot during a swing. As I set up, I set my body and the plane to the right of the target. The face of the club is at the target. When I set up for a right to left shot, I start over here, setting up my body and the plane right of the target. And I toe the club in at the target. Again, notice the V's on both hands are pointing at the left shoulder. Notice the ball is on the left ear, base of the spine, and just inside the left heel. In other words, we use the same swing every time. As Ben Hogan told me, There is not enough time in one lifetime to perfect one swing, let alone a number of swings. So make sure your ball is always on the left ear, base of the spine, and just inside the left heel, and the V's formed by the thumb and index finger of each hand are pointing at your left shoulder. One thing that will help you in having success hitting curves is the finish you work to. When we hit a straight shot, we work to a finish with our shoulders level. When we're hitting a shot left to right, work to a finish where your left shoulder is higher than your right. When you're hitting a shot right to left, work to a finish where your right shoulder is higher than your left. This will give you the success you're looking for in hitting curves. You have now gone through the 7 fundamentals of maximum golf. The total procedure for all 7 fundamentals will take approximately 30 seconds. 30 seconds that, when done properly, will help you enjoy your walk to the next shot. Let's take a look at the part of the game that's the easiest, getting the ball in the hole, or the short game. The short game is chipping and putting and short pitches. Why do I say it's the easiest? Because in the long game, we have to take a big swing with the legs and the hips turning. A lot of energy is activated and released in the long game. In the short game, we set up and let the shoulders swing the arms. Very little energy is needed. There's no reason why you can't become the best chipper and putter at your club. There's no reason why the rest of your life you cannot be the best chipper and putter in the foursome you play in. Let's look at some of the rules for the long game that apply to the short game. The number one physical rule in the long game and the short game is that the hands always lead a trailing club head. What I feel is the second most important rule is that the weight is on the left side with a flexed knee. Remember that we squat and flex our legs for mobility and stability in the long game. In the short game, stability is an important thing. Let's watch the stability in the stroke and lower body during the stroke. To cover the rest of the rules, let's start with the feet, then the knees, hips, back, shoulders, arms, and hands. Then we'll cover the grip. The right foot is perpendicular to a line to our target. The left foot is back from the line 3 to 4 inches and at a 45-degree angle, as with the long game. The knees are flexed. The left knee is over the left toe. The weight is on the left foot. There's an angle of the right leg off the ground. With the hips are slightly open. When we set up, we turn our weight onto the left foot, which opens the hips and the knees and the feet to the line. Now let's take a look at the shoulders. One of the main causes for bad strokes are tense shoulders. Let's determine what's tense and what's relaxed. Squeeze your shoulders against your neck as tight as possible. Label this as a 5 on your tense scale. Now, relax your shoulders and let your hands go down your legs. Get your shoulders as relaxed as possible. This is a 1. We'd never like to have our shoulders more than a 1.5 on the tense scale. Now that we've covered many of the rules that are the same for the long game as the short game, let's look at some unique rules. In the long game, The ball is located out here, and the mind has to triangulate to get a line on your target. In the short game, we have the opportunity to get closer to the ball with the eyes right over the ball so we can look down the line. This is a big advantage. So make sure that your eye